Hi, Professor. This is week 4 of the DATA800 course. In this week, I would like to talk something about my opinions on the hypothesis test. So first, I would like to talk about the standard deviation. In this week's course, we learned about hypothesis test. The relationship between the standard deviation of a sample mean and the standard deviation of the population is defined as the standard deviation of the sample mean equals the standard deviation of the population divided by the square root of the sample size. In the past, there are some articles about the standard deviation in academics. So in 2005, Delmas and Liu explained what a standard deviation is in their article. Strainer in 1996 interpreted the difference between the standard deviation and the standard error. Livingston in 2004 indicated that the applications of the standard deviation in his article. We have a case study in this week's assignment. So given the random sample size is 345, the mean of the population is 150, and the standard deviation of that is 180. The standard deviation of the sample mean should be, the standard deviation of the sample mean is equal to 180 divided by the square root of 345. That is 9.69. The standard deviation of the sample mean here means the extent of variation that a sample mean could be drawn from the same population with a size of 345. So the bigger the number is, the higher the variation could be. There are several assumptions concerning the confidence interval at 95%. The first assumption is the data points in the sample is randomly drawn from the population. The second assumption is the observations in the sample are independent from each other. The third one is the population follows a normal distribution. The fourth one is the sample has sufficient observations, which means at least the sample size is greater than 30. The fifth assumption is the sample is assumed to be approximately normally distributed according to the central limit theorem. And finally, there is an hypothesis test question. So concerning this question, the t statistic is defined as t equals the standard deviation of the sample minus the standard deviation of the population divided by the standard deviation of the sample divided by the square root of the sample size. So substitute the numbers given in the question to the formula above. We can get the t statistic as negative 1.81. We can also find the critical value of the t statistic at a degree of freedom of 31 and confidence level of 5%, it is negative 1.699. Since we have the t statistic calculated less than the critical value, so we can reject the null hypothesis and conclude that the standard deviation is less than 13 hours. Thank you.